Hello, everyone. Welcome to the archery workout, part of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games presented by the Hartford. Before we get started, I do have a few quick announcements. Number one, for this session, you will need a resistance band or something similar, like a rope or a sweatshirt, or I believe Lee, you said a t-shirt, anything you can use to just kind of hold up, stretch a little bit, will work. And finally, before we get into this session, I'd like to take a moment to thank all of our incredible sponsors, and especially the Hartford, who is the presenting sponsor of the 2020 Angel City Virtual Games. And of course, thanks to our amazing friends at Metz and Harrison LL. Now I'm gonna hand it off to Leah to get this thing going.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay, because I can't see anybody but Anna, and I don't know why. So I can see the chat. So if you've got something to add, I'll watch the chat, or Anna, maybe you can watch the chat. Let me know if somebody has a question. Okay, well, welcome. I am totally stoked for this performance tonight, for this exercise and training program. My name is Leah Coriel. I'm on the USA Archery team. This is my 5th year on the team. I've been on 3 World Championships teams. I went to Rio, and I'm hoping to make it to Tokyo. So, yeah, training is very, very important. And it's not just your physical body, it is your mental body, your muscles, encompass all of you. And it's just not, lifting weights or being super strong. It's kind of, you have to have them all together as one. So we're going to start out here with stretching, which is huge. I personally have progressive MS, so I'm very, very spastic. So it's very important to stretch those muscles out before you try to pull back a bow. So we're going to start with the first one, which is the shrug. Okay, put your arms down by your side. Lift your shoulders up all the way to your ears and squeeze. And then, so we're going to go in. Can you feel that kind of buzz a little bit? Okay. That's getting the blood flowing, get the oxygen going. This is one actually that I think invented, and we call it the half twist. If you're in a chair, or if you're sitting in a chair, if you take your arm over and you grab this part of and twist. Either way, this way, where I'm bracing off my knee, is that whole trap down my back and my shoulder. If I turn this way, I can feel it down the back of my arm. So then we're going to switch and do it the other way. So if you're in a chair, you can do this, just grab onto the chair leg, or even, people sit on the floor. I'm not going to sit on the floor today because it'll take me the whole 45 minutes to get back up. But this is the same thing if you do that with your legs and then go the other way with your legs. We call that a twist. Here's one, really difficult. You ready? Called chin to the chest. Literally. Hold it. All the way up. You'll feel this. If you've been shooting it all lately, you'll feel it right behind your neck. Back down, chin to chest. All the way back up. Don't do it fast. And back to center. I'm only going to give you some examples. We're not going to go through the whole workout. So we'll probably do each of these exercises 2, maybe 3 times to show you, the gist of it. And if you have questions later, you can email me or shoot me a text, and then I can explain it further. The other one. Turn your head like this and look at your armpit right here. Down. Turn your head, chin down, and look. Can you feel that pull right down the back of your trap there? That is an artery muscle. So come back to center and look the other way. All the way down, like you're trying to look underneath your armpit. Can you feel that? Pull on those trap. If you're on the computer a lot, this is a good one too. Okay, we're gonna go back to the other side. And then the one we all love, starting in kindergarten, is the windmill. We're going to take the right arm, I'm going to go forward, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to reverse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go to the other side. Forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And reverse. 1, 2, all the way back there. 3, 4, 5. So do a little shimmy. Are you feeling it? Stretched out a little bit? This is the last one. We call it elbows up. This elbow up. I'll turn around so you can see it from behind. That's what I'm doing. Just not overly pressing, but it's a great stretch all the way down this lat. And then we're going to switch. Exactly. Loosening those shoulders up, loosening up the back, the traps and the lats, and your neck. All right. We're going to move into the resistance band. So I'm going to show you how to do it from a chair, and then Anna is going to pop up a picture of somebody standing or sitting because like I can only do it from the chair. So when I do the biceps curl, can you see how I put it underneath? I put it underneath my foot plate, okay? And then the bicep curl goes from there. This band isn't long enough. Let me try my feet. Here we go. That's just a bicep curl. Try to keep your elbows in. I don't have enough muscles in my leg to keep my foot on the foot plate, so it's gonna come up every time I lift. Ooh, hello. Okay, can you feel it? Elbows in, hands up, your palms facing up. And you're gonna feel that. Not just in your biceps, but along here, you're gonna want that stretch because when you pull back your bow, if you're gonna get, what do they call that, tennis elbow, make sure you do the bicep curls close to you because it'll stretch those muscles out so they don't get inflamed. Okay, good on the other side. Yes, hon.
I am going to share the screen real quick. I don't want them to miss you, but this is kind of what it will look like.
Yes. So see how her palms are facing up until she curls it all the way up to her shoulder. And depending on the length of your resistance band, that's how much harder it will be to curl. So if, it doesn't have to be super hard to curl. You just need to be warming up those muscles. So yes, that is the bicep curl. So the next one we're going to roll into. My pause doesn't work today. Okay. Chest press. Same thing. You can do this from your wheelchair or around your back is to take the stretch band. Can you show the picture, Anna? That's all it is. Next one, there we go. See how she comes? Again, elbows in, they're not out here like wings, and just push them forward and bring them back. Forward, count of 2, and back. Forward, count of 2, and back. And don't let go of them because it will hurt if you snap yourself. So any questions on that one? Let's see, maybe. Okay. The next one takes, okay. I've got it around my knees. Can you see that? This is for the tricep, so it needs to go beyond your shoulders. So back, I'll tilt sideways. So back to center, back to down. I don't have enough core to sit up straight to do that, but if you can sit up straight, it's a great core workout too. Back, 1, 2, down. 1, 2, down. Did we have the picture of that one, Anna? Of her doing it sitting? Yes, she just wraps it around the bottom of her feet and does the same movement that we're just doing. She does them at the same time. You do not have to do them at the same time. I can rarely do something on both sides of my body at the same time. It just doesn't work that way. So that's the tricep. Okay, the row. I have seen machines lately. They're like a skier thing that goes like that. I don't know what they're called, like an ergo ski or something. It's actually what that is rowing and not necessarily just skiing, but it's the same thing. I can't put my feet out in front. Can you pull that picture up, Anna? Of the girl sitting on the floor? There you go. So she has it around the bottom of her feet, and she's pulling back, elbows in, all the way to her sides, and then she goes back forward. All of it's controlled. You don't bounce back. Now she's got it on her feet. I can do it on my bedpost. So if I put my elastic around my bedpost, I've seen people put it around doorknobs. I'm thinking that's probably not a real good idea because if you've ever watched the bloopers on YouTube, yeah, that doesn't look like it ends very well. Somebody also tried to do it on a kitchen drawer. No. Do it like on a post or a bed or the bottom of your feet or even a rail, like an outside rail. So, and then the one-armed row, if you're an archer, you already know this one. That's this. Just like you've got your bow. And if you need your band tighter, 1, 2, 3. And you're gonna feel your shoulder blade, your angel blade, tuck down underneath your lat and then come back up. You want to feel that. So you'll feel it roll. Now we're gonna go to the other side. And this is most definitely an archery warm up. 2, 3. I'm getting hot already. Anybody else? Everybody getting stretched out? Yep. Okay, can you show them the picture of the girl doing the archery one-armed row? Again, same thing. She just either uses it in her hand as a knot, or she has it wrapped around her hand and she pulls it back. And do you see how her shoulders are level? And her back elbow is completely level all the way to her front hand. That's called barrel of the gun. That is the position you want to be in when you're at full draw. So this is an excellent way, even if you're not able to get out and shoot your bow, it's an excellent way to find your form and to activate those muscles that you need. Neil said, do you have to turn your neck the same way as this, Camille?
Yeah, so I'm watching you do it, but is it better for the exercise to turn the way that you're stretching?
Yes, because I'm looking at you. Absolutely, you want to be. I've seen people try to shoot a bow, especially those with lower amputations, straight ahead. And to me, because they're afraid they're going to fall out if they do it this way, but that's going to kill your back shoulder. So yes, when you pull it forward, you're looking downrange. To your right. Face the way that you're lefty or righty. Good question.
Thanks.
Any other one? No? This one is shoulder rolls. So this is with, again, I can only do it one-sided. See if you can do it together. The object is I can't do things on both sides of my body. That's exactly like you are doing, Camille. You can bring it up and go over your body to the back, and you're going to feel the roll. Exactly. There you go. Can everybody see you? No? Anna? She's got it.
Camille's
And this
doing
way-
great.
She is doing great. That's why we get the pictures, though, because just because I can't do them like they can on the picture, you have to do what works for you. And, you don't have to look like what everybody else looks like because you'll know, you'll feel it, you'll feel the stretches. And no two archers are going to be the same because our challenges are very unique to who we are. So if I can't do that thing and put it behind my head, that doesn't mean that, I'm not going to be successful. It means I need to learn a different way to do it that works for me. And that's the bottom line with archery. It's the most adaptable sport there is. I mean, Matt Stutzman on our team. You think he can do that? No, he doesn't have any arms. He was born without any arms. He's trying to do it with his feet, and it's pretty funny to watch, but no, he can't do that. So he just does his stretches in a different way. You know, I kind of like a harness thing that he puts on and stretches. So you need to find what works for you. And if you need help with that, like I said, you can drop me an email or, you know, send us something on social media, because I also do the social media for Prepare Archery. If you have a question, how can I modify this? How can I change this? Just give me a shout and we'll figure it out. Okay, the last one is called the floss. You know that thing, that dance like this? Okay, you're gonna do that with this above your head. Okay, again, I have trouble. So it's flossing this way and then this way. So do this over your head. So, Camille, let's see what you got for me. Yeah?
Can you show it again?
It's the floss. You know this thing, that dance the kids do? Do it above your head. So it's like, I can't do it on that side. Oh, there, I did it. And then in front. See? I did it.
Hey, Leah, I think
Yeah.
that Daniel is doing a really good job, and I want to see him do it.
Yes, me too.
Daniel, let me see your stuff. Oh, no, maybe he left. Oh, there he is.
Good, because I can't see anybody but you, Anna.
Hey, well, let me just tell you, he's doing pretty great. I mean, I can't do it.
Can you put him on there? So I can see him?
I think.
Because you put Camille on.
Can you see him?
Hi, Daniel. Hi.
All right,
Can you show-
Daniel. Show us.
Yes.
Awesome.
That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Good job. Thank you. You are a good role model.
You are. Thumbs up.
All right. So I have more, but the most important muscle, the thing that you need to do every single day to stay strong as an archer and in this sport, you need to do mental powerlifting. The biggest muscles you're ever going to need are in your brain. This is most definitely a mental sport. And I can attest to that because I have progressive MS. 5 years ago, I could actually stand up and take a few steps. I can't even tie my shoes now. But you know what? My scores have never been higher. So I'm rated #1 in the US and I can't tie my own shoes. So how does that happen? Mental powerlifting every day. So when you're shooting archery and you're shooting on the line, let's think of the what ifs that happen, that throw you for a loop, and you're going to need to do some powerlifting. So, for instance, what if you miss the target? I've done that. What if you shoot somebody else's target? I've done that. How about if you shoot 5 arrows instead of 6? Or 7 arrows instead of 6. Or when we were in Holland at the World Championships, I had a muscle spasm at full draw. And that arrow, and the judge turned around and he said to me, "What was that?" I said, "That was epic." that was an epic shot because it's probably in Belgium. Those things are going to happen on the line. So what you need to know is what are you going to do mentally to keep yourself strong, to keep yourself in the game. Because if you let that throw you, it's going to show in your performance. The first thing I do, and if you can go on YouTube actually, and you can see every World Championship and the Olympics that I ever shot at, and you will see this. And it's called a cleansing breath. It's in, count of 6, hold for 6, and then you let it out like it's a balloon. And you will see me on the shooting line do that at least 3 times, if I have time. Feel all the way up, hold it. Can you feel that buzz? That oxygen getting back, because I can guarantee if you just shot somebody else's target, or if you just launched one to Belgium, you're gonna be like this, oh my God, what did I do? And then how are you gonna shoot your bow? Even if you don't have asbestos, you can be like, oh my God, you'll never be like, oh my God, did you see that? This. So one of the newest things is a reset. Unfortunately, I don't think the NFL is going to play this year, or the baseball, but you will see this in the NFL, in the baseball games, and in the hockey games. When somebody screws up, they have a reset. So I don't know if you've seen the picture of two young guys, one's taller and the other guy's a little shorter, and he missed a free throw and his head's like this, and his buddy comes up and lifts his head. And the little saying by that is, everybody needs a friend like that. That's a reset from this to this. So you will see people in the NFL do that. You know what that is? That's flushing the toilet. Get rid of it. It's gone. Reset. This is what you'll see me do. Either fast forward or rewind. Something physical that will say, all right, it's done. Because guess what? That arrow has already left your quiver. It's done. Wherever it went, it's done. And you need to get behind that, use your muscles, and get back on the, back on the shooting line. All right, that arrow's gone. Whatever. So when you shoot a 0 out of 10, the first thing you think is, oh my God, that's 10 points. I'm going to be down 10 points. There's no way I can ever catch up to 10 points. Well, I actually witnessed my first year shooting, and it was a shoot-off between two gentlemen. And the guy that thought he was the better archer shot last. So it was the second to last shot. It was the guy on this side. And he shot a 7. And the gentleman on this side said, wow, it's been good shooting with you. Too bad you came this far. And he picked it up and he had a miss. So guess who won? The guy with a 7. Because he never gave up. The guy on this side thought he was a shoo-in. I can hit anything better than a 7, and he missed the entire target because he was too busy blabbling over here talking about how he was going to shoot it. Again, mental strength. You have to stay strong on the line. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but when I get frustrated on the line, I get angry at myself, and I get teary-eyed, or I look like I'm crying, and I probably am. And let me tell you, from experience, it is very hard to shoot bows and arrows when you're crying. You can't see where you're going. You have a lump in your throat about this big. You're trying not to cry. So if you practice this every single day, this is powerlifting. This is archery powerlifting. Practice it. So when I'm shooting at my range and I'm practicing, I put on songs that make me sad. And some of those can be very powerful. They have very strong emotions attached to songs. We all have that song that brings us to tears, whether it be joy or sadness or whatever. Play it. Play that. Get yourself messed up, like the sun's too bright, or, shoot in the rain. Shoot in the wind. Shoot in the shade. Shoot at night. Shoot when there's 1,000 mosquitoes around, because I guarantee you it's either going to rain or it's going to be, people say, oh, the shadows. So when there's a saying around the world in the para teams, if you're having a drought in your country, invite the U.S. para team, because it will rain. We make it rain. So we have learned that when we go to an archery range and it's pouring and everybody else is freaking out, oh my gosh, it's so windy or it's raining. Are you kidding? This is rain. This is my backyard. This is my house. I know how to do rain. I know how to do wind. People are like, do you really? I'm like, yeah, no, I don't. I don't like shooting in the rain, and I don't like shooting in the wind. But they don't need to know that, because I'm flexing my muscles. I'm staying strong in here. And that's just as important as being able to curl 40 pounds. Because that's where things are, champions are made, is sticking with what you know that you can do, that you've already practiced. So we play a game called the Colt. I also coach a college team of able-bodied young people. And one of the young men said, Coach Leah, I cannot hit a 10 to save my life. I don't know what's wrong. I just can't hit a 10. And I said, well, Riley, I want you to shoot an 87, but you can't have any 10s. If you shoot a 10, you have to start all over. So tell me how many arrows that tonight in practice, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna shoot 87 with no 10s and then count how many arrows it takes you. Oh, probably 20 minutes in it, he came over to me, he said, I haven't shot anything other than a 10 in 20 minutes. So I'm still at 0. I'm like, what does that tell you, Riley? It's a mental thing. It's a mental muscle thing. He believed he couldn't hit a 10 because he kept telling himself he couldn't hit a 10. So then when he wasn't supposed to hit a 10, he hit a 10. Though practicing those things and challenging yourself, or maybe aim in the red ring at 3 o'clock. All of them go over in the red ring. Don't hit the middle. Aiming off is important. People hate to aim off. It's like you have to learn to do that in life too. You might know where you need to go, but if there's a detour, you have to know how to get there that way too. I don't know why I stapled these. Hang on, 2 seconds. All right. Can you put up the picture of the first target, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you unmute them? Anna, can you unmute the people that are watching?
Yes, I can.
Can you unmute them? Because I want to hear what they see in this target. Anybody? When you look at this target, what's the first thing you see?
A lot of hard work.
Oh, hard work, yeah. I heard it, a young person there for a minute.
Oh,
What did he
thanks. I said a bullseye.
say? What did you see there?
What do you see, Candy?
No misses.
Misses? Hey?
No misses. Like,
Oh,
they
no
all hit the
misses.
target.
They all hit the target. Right. Most people who don't actually, compete in archery, they look at that and they're like, oh, look at that one down there. Look, you shot a 7. You shot a 7. You know what I see? If you say, Leah, read that target. I've got a 10, 3 9s, 2 8s, and a 7. It's all about how you look at it. So if you're gonna say, oh, I shot a 7. Yeah, but you shot a 10, 2 9s, 3 8s, and a 7. So can you put the next one on, Anna? I don't know if we can zoom in on that. Can you see that one? What's your first thought, Candy, on that, reading that target? Or Sam, any of you? What do you see?
I see a 10. I see a 9.
Mm-hmm.
I see a bunch of 9s. So let's see. I think that's another one. 1, 2. Yeah, I see 3 9s,
Mm-hmm.
2 8s, and a 6.
Exactly. Most people that are walking out to their target and they're in competition, they're like, oh my gosh, I got a 6. And then none of those other ones are in the middle. Oh my gosh, they're not in the middle. But if you look at that target, I look at that target, I'm like, yeah, Leah, girl, look at that group. Look at that group. It is this big. All you have to do is move your sight. Getting those arrows to group is the hardest part. So yeah, when I look at that, I don't even see the 6. I see, woohoo, look at that group. And they are all in the target and nuns are in Belgium. So there's a win. It is all about framing and flexing those mental muscles. So my target rarely looks like all of them are in the middle of the yellow. Even if I have a really decent score, they're not in that little tiny yellow because I shoot my bow a little differently. I don't use a scope. I don't use a peep. So I don't expect it to look like everybody else's. You know who it looks like? Mine. It looks like Leah's. How did I do that? How do I get better at that? How do I read that without shaming myself into a position where I'm not flexing my muscles, I'm actually whining or pouting? Yeah, drink your 2 seconds. Drink your water. So this is a book. Can you see that? It is written by actually the para team's sports psychologist. And it's don't leave your mind behind when you're training. So I took some of this from here and some of it from this book because I coach young people. And I can get you that mindfulness for student athletes. And what those books will tell you, train your brain for the hard stuff, the rain, the wind, the lightning, the morning, the heat, the obnoxious archer next to you. Train for as many reps as it takes. Don't train until you get it right. Train until you can't get it wrong. But here's something that I learned from Dr. Nicole, is that when you are stressed, and in any competitive sport, you're going to be stressed. When you are stressed, your body produces the adrenaline and those other hormones, and your body doesn't know if it's excitement or if it's anxiety because it's exactly the same thing. It is flexing your mental powers that will tell you if you're going to be anxious or if you're going to be excited. And that's key going into a competition, because you'll hear people go, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous, oh, I'm so anxious. And if you treat that, I'm so excited. I am so excited. Let's do this. You know, people say, oh, Leah doesn't have any fear. I do have fear. But I know that I can turn fear into excitement. It's all about how you approach it, because your body doesn't know the differences in those hormones. So it's up to you. Flex those muscles. Are you going to be, well, I'm so worried about this. I'm so anxious. My stomach hurts and I don't know what to do. Or I'm really excited. I've got butterflies. I can feel everything pulsing in my body. I'm excited. I am going to flex my muscles the way I can mentally so that physically your body can follow it. Because where your mind goes, the body follows. And that's what I mean about doing powerlifting with your mental skills that you need to do all day long. You can use your surge of hormones to help your performance by, number one, acknowledge the adrenaline that's surfing through your blood and create excitement. And excitement equals positive energy. Or you can choose to let it harm your performance. Fear the adrenaline, which then creates anxiety, which then creates poor performance. So the one thing you can do all day, every day, something I do every night before I even go to bed, is I visualize my shot. I can see it in my head, sitting on the shooting line, whether it be at my range, whether it be in Rio, whether it be practicing for Tokyo. Any athlete, elite athlete at any level, will tell you that there is no training tool more powerful than visualization. So when you get good at flexing those muscles, you will see it reflected in your performance. You know, the other stuff that we can do with a stretch band or with breathing or with stretching, that's kind of universal. We can find that information. It's this information that's going to make or break you as an elite athlete. So that's kind of what I had today. Does anybody have any questions for me? Because Anna thought maybe you'd all want to throw a couple of questions out, and I'll answer them the best I can.
I have a question for you, Leah. Thanks so much. I know in your live, you said that you compete with men. What is that like? Is that any different? Do you feel?
Oh yeah. It's kind of fun. In the beginning, I was like, and I don't know why I would even think that men would be better than women, because I often see at the little archery club here in La Crosse, men will bring their wife or significant other and teach them to shoot, and very often those women will outshoot the men, like within a year, all the time. It happens. Look at Sarah Lopez from Mexico. She kills it. So in the beginning, I was like, well, they still have impairments because they're W1s, but I'm thinking they're stronger. I don't know what I was thinking. But then I realized when I shot in the World Championships, I hate to say it, but the guys from like Latin America, and so they don't like to shoot against women because they're really worried about who's in the stands. They're worried about who's watching and they don't want to lose to a woman. That's just part of the culture for them or whatever. So of course I take full advantage of it. I'm like, hi, let's go. Hi, I'm Leah. Nice to meet you. And they're like, yeah, see. I'm like, well, let's do it. They're like, and I I'm kind of teasing, but kind of like, really, you're afraid of me? You know, really? No, yeah, nice. And I'm like, yeah, good shot. Well, let's do this. And they don't know what to make of the crazy American woman. But my teammates in the U.S., my W1 partner is Jason Tabinsky, and it used to be Jeff Avery, who was a big part of Angel City Games, and Jerry Shields. And Jerry and Jeff have since kind of retired from the sport. So Jason is young. Jason's young enough to be mine. So when we shoot together, we really push each other because he don't want to get beat by mama. And I want to beat him. So it works, you know? But when I shoot with other women, they're not nearly as fun. Not at all. The guys are like, what are you doing, you wild woman? And I have fun because I have been flexing those mental muscles. I didn't start out that way. If you see the very first, when I went to Rio, Jeff Avery and I made it to the bronze medal match. In my very first go, he's been there before. I've never been there. Well, all the eliminations going up to it, I was just like, this is cool, Jeff, this is cool. And then we get to the bronze medal match, and I look, and there's a monitor with me on it. And there's a mic there, and I looked at it, but I said, oh my gosh, I can't lose now. And he's like, don't say that. And that's exactly what happened. It wasn't fun. It wasn't, oh, this is exciting. I like it. It was, I can't lose. Where the mind goes, the body follows. And we picked it thanks to me. But I'm stronger now. 4 years later, I learned. I don't go into it that way anymore. But yeah, it's as fun as you make it, and it can be quite a riot. And then after we're done, even, you know, the guys from Brazil are just sweet as can be, and they'll give me a hug and say, good job, and big grin. But when we're competing, and the problem is they're both left-handed, so we're knee to knee. They can't even ignore me if they want to. So yeah, that's fun.
All right.
Anybody?
We got a question, Leah.
Yes.
It is from Sam Bosco. Woo! She asked, what do you do to calm nerves before a big event?
Yes, it is. I usually will listen to music like in the bus on the way there. I definitely try to go with, this is so exciting. For me, I'm old. I'm really old to be an archer. I am 55 and a half years old. For me to even be on that bus with the highest ranking archers in America, and I'm on that bus, it's humbling. It is an honor, and it is a privilege to be on that bus. And so when I start getting all nerved up about it, I think about that. I'm like, it is an honor to even be here. It is an honor to be around these people. So I calm myself down that way. My coaches also will help me kind of talk it out. I'll put in earplugs. My problem is I'm about as ADHD as you can get. So if everybody's talking to me, then I get sidetracked. So the coaches will then just kind of like get me off where not everybody's trying to talk to me at the same time, so I can get my head in the game. That's a really good strategy for me, because otherwise I'm like, oh, shiny things, who's over there? It's good to keep, you know, my face there. I see. When did you start in archery? My disease became progressive in 2014, which is the same year that I started. I went to the Summer Sports Clinic, which is a VA adaptive sports program. And in 2015, I decided, you know what, I'm going to try to make the USA national team, because I knew at that time that a W1 woman who is on a neuroquad, the USA had never had a female qualify even to make the national team. And I asked Coach Randy Smith why, and she said, because it's really hard to do. It's hard to do for anybody that's a quad. But it seems to be overwhelming because we can't find a woman that can shoot a score. So I made that my goal. So in 2015, I retired from the university that I worked at as an instructor, and I trained. And in 8 months, I made the USA national team, the world championship team, and within a year, I was on the Paralympic team because I put everything into it. And I was lucky that my kids were grown, and you know, I don't have a husband. I retired from my job, so all my pegs kind of fell in a row. And I'm grateful for that, because I don't know that if I had those other things going on, had I been able to do it, but I did. So 2015 is when I started. I have never shot a bow standing up. But here's a funny story. Okay, so there's 5 women on the USA, either emerging or national team. None of us have ever shot a bow standing up. Andre Shelby, who is the Rio gold medalist in archery, has never shot a bow standing up. Ben Thompson, world champion, never shot a bow standing up. So that's the cool thing about archery is 2018 at the outdoor national championship in the men's compound open division, our paras compete as able-bodied men in that part of it. So it came down to the quarterfinals, which is what, like the last 12? 4 of them, the top 12 male archers in America, 4 of them were paras. 4. 1/3 of them were paras. And Matt Stutzman went on to be the national outdoor champion of 2018. I just think that says something about archers and about us supporting each other, and you never know. You never know where it's going to take you. I lost Anna. There she
I'm
is.
here. I was trying to think of some questions to ask you. Because
MJ Rogers is my coach. Oh, top 8. Quarterfinals of the top 8. So half of them were paras.
that's insane.
So out of the top 8 archers in the world, 4 of them were paras, or in the
There
United
you
States.
go. Get the story right.
Well, you can tell them that, MJ.
What? This is an exercise video, and I thought I would learn things, and I am.
Very good. MJ is the USA Paralympic coach, assistant coach, and he travels all over the US teaching other countries how to work with para archers as well. So very knowledgeable man. We're very lucky to have him.
We got another question.
Okay.
All right, this one is from Camille. She asked, do you have your own range, and how often do you shoot right now?
I do not have my own range. I live in the 3rd floor of an apartment building that's about 800 square foot in my apartment. I actually drive an hour away to Fort McCoy Army Base because I'm prior military, and this is the big problem with para archers. We need to be able to get to our target to get our arrows. So everyday range, city ranges or park ranges, we can't roll on the grass. We shoot hundreds of arrows to get back and forth. So when I moved back to La Crosse, my hometown, I asked the MWR out at Fort McCoy if they had someplace on a sidewalk or a parking lot or someplace that I could put my target and I could train at 50 meters. And they let me have their gun range. There's a sidewalk on their gun range. So I've been out there, and it's an hour out there, but it works for me. That is my sanctuary because there's nobody out. Well, you hear 50 cals, and sometimes there's Blackhawks. Last week there were a couple Chinooks, but they're not shooting archery, so it's not really in where my brain is. But I'm very, very lucky to have that. I know some of the people on our team shoot in church parking lots, but they have to take down and put up their target every single time, which is hard. So that, as para archers, that's the most difficult thing, is finding a place where you can go get your own arrows. Now, Kevin Mather lives in Denver, and he went in front of the park district of wherever he lives in Denver and asked them if they could put a sidewalk next year or something down, and he shoots 70 meters because he's a recurver in a chair. Could you put in a sidewalk or something so I can get down there? And within 2 weeks, they had already done it. They came and they put in a sidewalk. All he had to do was ask. So I've heard that too. So, you might have to be the voice for yourself, but for the people that come after you too.
Leah, I have a question, another question.
Yes.
First off, thank you for your service. If you, I'm trying to word it accurately. When you first started, what are some things that you know now that you wish you would have known sooner?
I wish I would have known that it was so much more mental than I thought, because I really struggled physically, and I think I felt bad about it and like defeated, like I was never going to be able to do it because I was losing strength. And I wish I would have known then how much mental it is. I wish in the beginning I would have. Equipment is so crazy expensive, and I shoot a compound with a release. I bet you I have spent thousands of dollars on bows or stabilizers or releases or arrows that I didn't need or that weren't right for me, or it was just so expensive. It almost had to get out of the sport because I'm like, I can't afford this. I wish I would have known who to ask then. I like Candace. I want to be the person that I needed. When I started 5 years ago, there were so many questions and I didn't have anybody to ask. I want to be that person for all of you. If you have a question before you buy something or try something, or want to experiment or get somebody else's opinion, just give me a call or a text, or even MJ. We're here. This is my legacy. We're here to build the best para archery team in the world. And that's what I'm here for.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? I can tell you that last year, 2 years ago, I am a level 4 USA archery coach, which means that I can coach anywhere basically in the world. And I didn't really have an intention to do that. There just was not another para coach. We have coaches that can stand but use a chair for mobility, but somebody that was in a chair all the time had never done it. And that's why I did it. I wanted to prove that somebody in a chair can coach able-bodied archers higher level. So I coached the UWL lacrosse archery team. And it's kind of funny because I had 5 kids come out last year that had never shot a bow either. And I didn't have enough compounds. So they became recurve archers and bare bow archers. And, taught them what I knew about bare bow, what I knew about recurve. And MJ came down to do a coaching seminar, and they all came to set their bows up, and they all sat down and started stringing their bows. And he looked around and he said, y'all know you can string those standing up, right? And that's how you know you have a para for a coach. If you only know how to string your bow sitting down. I mean, now they can do it standing up, but, and in coaching those kids, so in 2018 at the Collegiate Nationals, the lacrosse team is a club team. So it's like, it's not an athletic team. They pay for it. They, comes out of student activity fees or whatever. So they went to Collegiate Nationals, and I got a call from one of the kids on the team because I wasn't there, and he said, we're going to the gold medal match in the Hunters division, R2, and they're going up against Texas A&M. And I said, oh, okay, well, they got it. He said Texas A&M have had the gold medal in this particular class for over 20 years. And Owen and Adrina took the gold medal last year from Texas A&M, where it is an athletic team, coached by a lady in a wheelchair. This year, when the standings came out, they have the top 20 in each different class, men's, women's, bare bow, whatever. And the university that had the most students in the top 20 in the classes was UW La Crosse. It makes me a better archer to coach other people. And it says something about our ability, though we may have physical challenges, to coach anybody. It's all mental. It's not all. But if you have your mental game strong, there is nothing that you can't do. Any other questions?
Leah, I got one more, and I think I'm asking for the group. Will you come out to Los Angeles and coach the 2021 Angel City Games?
Oh, it's so fun, but it's a Paralympic year. You have to do 2022.
All right, we'll see you in 2022 then.
22, yes. Because I do plan on retiring after Tokyo, because there's other things that I want to do too, but absolutely would love to do that. And you know
Countdown is
who,
on.
who is my mentor for coaching other people and reaching out and being the person that this lady told me this at the veteran games and at that very first adaptive sport. She said, you're going to want to be the person that you need now that you don't have. And her name was Angela Matson. That's who taught me that.
And if I'm not mistaken, Leah, you'll be back tomorrow for the concert, right? Maybe?
Yeah, what time is it? Your time?
5 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, so that's 7 here. I will be here. You bet. All right. Anybody else have any questions? No?
There's,
Well, like I said-
there's one, Leah.
All right.
All right. Okay, so kind of ending on a good note. What is your favorite memory or your most memorable experience other than Rio? And why is that your favorite memory?
My favorite memory has nothing to do with competition. So my son, Joey, had just come home from Afghanistan, and he was a different kid. And MJ was here, it was in the winter, and he was coaching me. And Joe likes to shoot his bow, so he's shooting. And nobody realizes that he's my boy because he's a smart aleck. So MJ said to Joey, Joe, why don't you compete against Leah? And he's lefty, so he's facing away from her. He goes, I'm not shooting with her. And everybody's like, ugh, not realizing that I'm his mom. And MJ said, come on. And Joe's like, I want a handicap. And these grown men were like ready to throw down with him. Like he's being this really disrespectful kid. But he's my kid, and I know he's joking. So we had to give him a 15-point handicap to shoot with me. And then MJ had to go out there, and he said, Joe's like, that's not there. I've been in the sandbox for a year. I haven't shot, make it all his, he had excuses. So MJ turned my target around. So it was the back of the target. Joe's like, okay, let's shoot now. So we shoot 3 arrows, and he goes running down there, and he looks at him, and he's like, there's still 10s. And I'm like, Joe, it's the middle of the paper. I thought you were smarter than that. I don't have to see the circle to know it's the middle of the paper. That is my best memory, is just sharing that with him. Just being a family. There's so many things that I can't do with him anymore, or, physically wasn't able to, but we can do that and laugh about it and have a good time. So he says that I'm his hip height stereo, because when he shoots, I just talk to him like bugging. So he never can shoot well. That's my favorite memory, is shooting with Joey and MJ, because MJ made it fun too.
I love that. I definitely saw a bunch of people cracking up there and smiling. So good things.
Good. Yes, very good things. Well, I had a discussion with somebody at Indoor National. So this year, Indoor Nationals, I shot it in Utah, and one of the dads of the kids, they were talking to me, and they're like, well, which people on your team do you think it's the hardest for them to shoot? I said, what? Well, they really have to struggle to shoot. I said, everybody has to really struggle to shoot. Have you not seen these grown men here throwing tantrums because they hit a 7? Because of the way we are built and God made us, or what happened to us doesn't define who we are as archers. Because we are the most diverse population out of all, even the ones that I saw in Rio. Because we have Matt, who was born without arms. We have a new young lady that is phenomenal, and her name is Emma Rose Radish, and she was born without legs, and she shoots a recurve from a manual chair 70 meters. So we met her at the beginning last year at Arizona Cup, and she had all borrowed equipment and somebody else's arrows and all that, and we kind of got her set up. She went to the World Championships in Holland, right out of the gate. By the end of summer, she broke every national record for women's recurve. You cannot tell. We have Janice and Mark and Jay. that are blind, completely blind, and they kill it in archery. Like the top 3 in the world are those 3. So, you know, and then we have Jeff Avery, who is actually a double amputee, you know, lower limb and upper limb. We have Jerry Shields, who had a stroke, who's a hemiplegic, so only part of him works this half. You have me and Jason, who are neuroquads. It's like there's if somebody comes and say, oh, I can't shoot, I'm like, we will find a way. That's what keeps me in archery, because actually table tennis and curling both are like, hey, don't you want to play table tennis? You know, kind of want me to go to another sport. I'm like, no, I'm happy right where I am, because it is so inclusive and so diverse. So I'm happy right where I am.